Welcome back to Tiny Talk TV. I'm Brian Sodre.
And I'm Sal de Benedetto.
And today we're talking about ADUs. We want to talk about what exactly an ADU is, what the requirements are to have an ADU on your existing property where possibly your primary dwelling sits, and how to finance an ADU. So Sal, tell us, what does an ADU stand for?
So yeah, ADU stands for accessory dwelling unit. We actually had a client the other day contact us and is interested in putting an ADU behind their existing home. So what are some of the ways, Brian, we could assist clients in putting ADUs behind their existing homes?
Right, so an ADU right now, the most popular use is to bring family closer to home. Perhaps you have an aging parent, perhaps you have a growing adult that you want to provide some independence for because the market housing isn't essentially affordable right now. Keeping them on your parcel will help eliminate a lot of expenses. Where you've got your primary dwelling here and you've got an ADU, mother-in-law suite, pool house, whatever you want to refer to. There's many different terms on that property. So if a customer wants to build an ADU, which I think is a great option specifically for our concept of smaller footprint homes, is first we need to determine their zoning. So if they hire us, we can assist with the process. If they want to do it themselves, they would call their local building department and ask them, am I able to put an ADU on my lot?
Which is a perfect example of the client we're working with now. I believe their particular zoning in Florida, their ADU is allotted half of the main structure on the property.
Right, so some of the details that they'll find out across the board through Florida, maybe throughout the United States. Typically, it's usually 50% of the primary dwelling size. That would be the maximum size that you can have an ADU. So in this example, they have a 3-acre parcel out in Volusia County, which I was very surprised that we can apply our concept there, but I'm glad that we can. So if you have a property in Volusia County, this is a great option for you. In Volusia County, they said in this 3-acre parcel, they have a 1,500 square foot house. The maximum house size that they can have is 750 square feet. And we're well below that because they selected which model?
I believe it was the 1-1, 500 square feet. So yeah, they're well below that.
Tell us about the customer, a little bit more about why they're doing it. So people out there can possibly relate and apply this to their own lives.
Yes, so aging parents, she wants to have her mom close, which is very reasonable. So she wants to put the structure in the back so the mom could still maintain her own space and still a sense of independence while being able to care for her mom at the same time.
Right, and in this scenario, we're even creating the home so it's wheelchair accessible as she continues to ages. Should she need to be on a wheelchair, it's easily accessible to come in and out of the property, go into the bathroom, get into your bedroom, and that's where customization in our tiny homes is key. We can customize it for mom, for dad, for the kids, whatever the scenario is. So I love that they reached out to us for this, for their parents.
Yes, and touching on a little bit more of the pre-construction phase of the ADU, a lot of people have these questions. They always call us and ask, so if I'm going to put if I'm going to put an additional unit, an additional structure, I should say, behind my existing house, do I have to run a new electrical meter in? Do I have to put a new water meter in? How does that usually work when they put a second structure on one parcel?
So typically when they're doing an ADU, they're going to tie into the same electrical meter and the same water meter. That means whatever they spend back there, you're paying that energy bill for. So if a lot of people use this as a rental property. If you're doing that, take that into consideration as some of your costs. But I think you brought up a great point. Whether it's an aging parent or rental property, what this does is it adds value to your property. So now you're not only selling one piece of land with one structure, you're selling one piece of land with an additional structure. What the buyer does with it is totally up to them, but that adds value, allows it for you to sell it for more.
Which I know you're a big fan of short-term rentals. It could be a great income producer for that parcel as well if somebody else decides to buy it. And going back to the electric for a second, a lot of people are kind of confused when they say tap into the existing meter. Would it be a wire running from their main box to the ADU and it would be kind of like a sub panel type of deal?
Exactly. That's exactly what it would be. Same scenario for the water meter, except there's only one meter and it's usually at the front of the property and measures all the water that flows through there. So you would tap into it. Pretty similar.
So switching gears a little bit to well and septic, this particular lot has well and septic. Would we be installing a new septic tank for this project, or would we be doing similar to electrical and plumbing and tying into the existing septic tank that's there already?
Well, so it all depends on what the building department determines is necessary. If their existing septic tank can hold the waste from the new structure, then yes, they can tie into it. But in this scenario with these customers, they wanted their own regardless. So that's what we're doing for them. And this is where it's very unique for each and every individual. Regardless of where you are, regardless of what the purpose of the ADU is, we want to help you through the process. Whether it's talking to the building department, the zoning department, determining what's necessary for your particular project, we want to discuss that with you. We want to help you. We want to reduce the burden of all the confusion and all the questions that you already have. We're going to help with a lot because we know a lot, but if we don't know, we'll figure it out for you. I'm glad we were able to talk about this topic. I think it's a great alternative to affordable housing. I think it's a great option as an investment property. And I see so many aging parents or growing adults using this as an alternative housing. And it's only temporary, but it's a great option to provide that independence while still staying close to home.
Absolutely. I could even see it being used for a young couple who just purchased a house and the in-laws or their parents want to move in while the couple has kids. So, the babysitting and stuff could be easy on, they're all living on the same lot.
I agree. I wish my mother-in-law lived in one so I can hand her over all the kids. Yeah. But let's talk about financing. We didn't touch on that. Financing an ADU is a little different than a new construction or an end loan. You can't necessarily go out to the bank and say, hey, I want to build a new construction in my backyard. Typically, they already have a lien on the existing property, the primary dwelling, better said. If you want to finance your ADU, you'll more than likely do it either a home equity line of credit, a refinance cash out. That way, any money that you have can be used towards that ADU. What are some alternative options?
I would say beside that, if you have a rental property with some equity, you could take out a line of credit on that and apply it. If you have a stock market portfolio, you could potentially do a portfolio loan on that. There's many different options. I think the main reason the new construction loan doesn't apply for this is because I believe most new construction loans would want that first position on the property.
All right. Well, I think that sums it up for ADUs. If you have any questions on accessory dwelling units, aka mother-in-law suites, contact us. We'd love to answer your questions. We'd love to help you solve some problems. We'd love to build you your dream ADU. I'm Brian Sodre.
And I'm Sal DiBenedetto. Thank you guys for watching episode 11, I believe, of Tiny Talk TV. And until next time, thank you guys for watching.
Let's build tiny together.